No.
That's the official one.
Can I start?
Yes.
Okay, start.
We, as a task force, have what we feel to be a plan to assist in directing the continual increase in population that Box Elder County is currently experiencing. The population is on a continual, steady increase upward. We have put much time and effort in researching different topics and ideas that will help deal with the current problem that we are experiencing at this time. We have devised a plan that will help in the development of Box Elder County for future generations to enjoy.
Here in Box Elder County, we have a strong tradition in agriculture. 43% of our county's land is used for agricultural purposes, and we are consistently among the top 3 counties in the state for agricultural cash receipts. We are proud of our agricultural heritage and hope to find ways to perpetuate this tradition into the future.
Our team has devised a plan that we think is the best way for Box Elder County to prepare and plan for water management in the year 2050. We need to start today by saving water for the future. To do this, we want to construct the Washakie Reservoir. An earthen dam would be constructed at one end, and the natural landscape would be the other sides. To allow for construction, the Malad River would have to be rerouted on the west side of the dam using an earthen canal. Because the Malad has a high mineral content that would not be wanted in the dam. To fill the reservoir, a pump station would be built around Cutler Dam on the Cache Box Elder County line. This lift station would lift water up to the peak, and gravity would flow it 7 miles down to the dam. The Bear River is one of the last untapped sources of water available in Utah. During the peak seasons of runoff time, November through May, the Washakie Reservoir could be storing up the extra water. If we don't store this extra water, it runs down the Bear River into the Great Salt Lake. And once it reaches the Great Salt Lake, it mixes with the salty water and cannot be used again.
According to the anticipation of the Box Elder County officials, the population for the Box Elder County is expected to grow 2.2% a year. This will make the population 83,667 people, nearly doubling the size of the Box Elder County. This proposes a major concern for the use of culinary water. Most of the current Box Elder County gets their culinary water from springs located along the Wasatch Front. However, these springs will not be sufficient to support such a great population. So we propose that we take water out of the aquifer located in the Bothwell Pocket, which provides quality water for the current Thatcher and Bothwell areas. This is a great way to have plenty of sufficient water for our county. Thank you.
Approximately 60% of Box Elder County's water comes from the Bear River Canal, 15% from various reservoirs, and the lasting 25% from deep wells. The Washakie Reservoir is not going to affect the amount of water we're getting from these reservoirs. Indeed, it's just going to act as a bank and store the water. Let me tell you about my bank account that I have. I have a bank account where I take my money when I don't use it completely from my paychecks, and I can store it for in case there was ever time of an emergency when I needed to have this extra money to rely on. Much like the Washakie Reservoir, we can take the water that would perhaps flood our lands and store it. So maybe in a time of drought and a time of need, we could recall upon this and it can help us so we're not in the drought. This is going to help keep our water clean for the agriculture users and as it travels down to the Salt Lake.
In our proposal, we have taken in much consideration of Box Elder County officials and their want to keep a flow of capitalization on the natural resources of Box Elder County for future economic development. Currently, we see very little recreational opportunities in the Box Elder County. With the development of the Washakie Reservoir, this would open the doors to new opportunities in the recreational field to not only residents of Box Elder County, but to visitors alike. It would also increase the overall revenue of Box Elder County. This reservoir can help Box Elder County become more well-known throughout the state. It will help Box Elder County to expand and prepare for the future generations will be experiencing. With this proposal, we are confident that future generations will be able to look back on the plans of the past and be thankful for what the one that came before them did. The revenue that is gained for the new recreational opportunities we are certain will go to very many needed county underfunded programs. With an increase in tourism, it will help bring in much needed county revenue, and we are positive that would go to very good use to the programs in the county that are always in need of extra funding.
As the population of Box Elder County doubles, the amount of impervious surfaces will increase as well. These surfaces, like sidewalks, driveways, roads, and parking lots, do not allow water to drain into the soil. Instead, it must run off of them and collect somewhere else. Impervious surfaces are usually connected to each other. Driveways turn into streets, turn into parking lots. So to redirect the water, our cities are crisscrossed with gutter systems. These systems lead water out of the streets and into storm drains and eventually into streams and lakes. The problem with this system is that the runoff is often polluted as it passes through the urban environment. Garbage, excess fertilizer, and pet waste often seem to gravitate towards the gutters. If instead of simply releasing this water, we run it through the water treatment facilities currently available and then use it as a secondary water system, it could be beneficial for all parties involved.
1,400,376 acres of Box Elder County are farms and ranches. 335,315 of those acres are crops and land. Our croplands in the western part of Box Elder County is dry farming. The dry farms produce wheat, safflower, and other forage crops. In the northern sector of the county, the main use for agriculture is irrigation, giving our county a very diversity of crops, including oats, corn for grain and silage, onions, dry beans, potatoes, and barley. In the southern part of the county, it adds the diversity of the crops. As you drive along the back streets of Brigham City, you will find fruit orchards and fruit stands all along the streets. There you will find peaches, apricots, apples, and cherries. This diversity of crops has helped Box Elder County maintain a number 2 ranking in the state for crop revenue.
The Washakie Reservoir would provide not only Utah citizens, but Idaho citizens as well, with plenty of outdoor recreational opportunities. This reservoir would be great habitat for fish, fish game, waterfowl, and large game animals. This would attract anglers, hunters, fishers, bird watchers, boaters, campers, and several other outdoor recreationists. By conveying the water from the Bear River into the Washakie Reservoir, we would be providing the fish in the Bear River a better habitat, which would allow better reproduction so they can flourish. By controlling the water in the reservoir, we would be controlling the temperature as well, which provides better habitat for fish growth and would attract more anglers.
We'd like to thank you for listening to our proposal today. We had many different ideas, and we thought that the Washakie Reservoir would be the best way to help with our recreation, to help so the generations of 2050 still have the clean, clear water that they need. The Washakie Reservoir is going to be the best way to help out the future. Thank you.
You have 3 minutes to question.
If I could, and my question is twofold. First of all, you had mentioned water reuse to handle the gaining population growth. Do you know how many wastewater treatment plants there are in Box Elder County, and how you would economically treat the water for reuse?
There's currently one water treatment facility, and it's just located down the road here. And we use it for sewer, like all the sewage system, and actually, after the sewage has been processed and everything like that, it actually comes out 99.8% clean and efficient, so it could be used for secondary water use as well as other things.
If I could, there's actually 2 there's one down in Brigham, 2 treatment plants.
Oh, wow. Okay, we're gonna look.
I can see that you selected a site for your earthen dam. what kind of analysis you made, if any, to determine that that was the ideal site for that for that dam?
Okay. This site near Washakie, it was a natural dam already. It already has 2 sides built up, and if we would only have to build one side of it and let it fill up. It would lessen the cost by only building one side. There's not very many buildings around that location right there. It's mostly just, lands for animals to graze, and it wouldn't be disrupting anybody, and it's a perfect spot for the water to fill up, and it would attract people more up to northern Box Elder County.
I have a question. You mentioned in your presentation that by building the Washakie Reservoir, you would store water, and therefore there would be less wasted water traveling into the Great Salt Lake. How would you account for or mitigate any problems associated, or are there any problems associated with dam building and the effects it would have on the Great Salt Lake ecosystem? So if you're removing water that is now flowing into the Great Salt Lake ecosystem, how would you mitigate that?
We would have to talk with the different counties that the Bear River does run through to get to Salt Lake. But if we were able to store this, all that excess through November through May, there is so much that it floods all of the land around the river. I know there's farmlands that get flooded, up to 5 feet underwater, and they can't be used. We would be able to work with these people and with the Great Salt Lake in order to just catch the extra. We would still allow water to run down to the Great Salt Lake. We wouldn't use it all to fill up the reservoir, just the excess.
Fine.